Are you leading your team into silence? Are your people silent? Why are they? Can your people take risks and make decisions? Or do they wait for you? If your team are doing this, you have significant cause for concern, not about them, but about your leadership. We've touched on this when we talked earlier about teams that leaders fail. Let's go deeper. It's important. Silence is critical to monitor. Are you making your team silent? Are you so controlling that your team can't decide? Do you lead in a way that your team default to you for every decision? We see this in so many settings. Teams that wait for their leader, responses like, oh, okay, I'll just check with da-da-da-da-da-da and let you know. Silence is not a desired outcome. Silence is not compliance and agreement. Silence is a sign that your leadership is one of control. It may have short-term success. It may feel like your team are with you. However, the impact in the longer term is terminal. Conforming and complying are perfectly acceptable and even desired if you balance that with conflict, challenge, debate, disagreement, daring, risk-taking, and failure. We need all of those. If you can check off both, your leadership has strength. If it doesn't, there is work to be done. If your team can't or won't speak out, you are heading for danger. The underground network will begin. If your experienced teachers are silencing themselves, if they sit and watch, you are in trouble. Experienced team members can be a right pain in the backside. They have seen it all before. They work on low trust and bring buckets of cynicism to new initiatives, and particularly to young or inexperienced leaders. Bringing them on board is absolutely critical. Connecting and valuing their skill base. Experience teaches you not to speak when you see incompetence or waves or threats. Not speaking out is a skill. You learn to comply, to be silent. It becomes a survival mechanism. If your team are not speaking out, be concerned, because this can go two ways. Compliance conforming and helping you feel good. The impact is that you feel that things are working. And you can bring about your ideas and change. You feel in control. But have you considered the impact? The impact, low investment, politics, silos, creating the underground, silent rebellions, one way for you and another way when you are not around. Knowledge, experience, innovation, and capacity goes untapped. It is underutilized, and you develop a system that never reaches what it can or it could. Conflict is really scary for any leader. It doesn't matter on how long you've been doing the job. But if you don't have it, you won't ever win. You won't ever achieve excellence. You have to be less controlling and a little more daring. Begin to believe in your people. Build relationships. Connect, listen for ideas. Connect. Talk, have conversations, allow for questions. Push people to innovate, to try. My motto, apologize later. Take a risk, check in, learn about your people, their stories, their needs, their strengths, value your team. You really are only as good as your team. Are you accessible? Are you visible? Are you working in spaces so your team can get to you, to ask you a quick question, to debate? Have a conversation with everyone. Where will your team be by Christmas? What skills do they bring? Have they lived and worked, this way before? Where have they been? What are their most intriguing life experiences? How comfortable do they feel in the role that they are in? What is the most challenging thing about working for you? What could you do to ensure that they are successful? Take the time to meet with them. Yeah, it's absolutely time consuming, but it's achievable and it's invaluable. Remember, communication, conflict is healthy. You need it. If your team isn't talking, isn't thinking, isn't debating, stop. It's time to reboot. How are you disrupting and how are you creating noise?